And action.
Okay. And so we acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth, as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. O Holy Spirit of God, help me to know Adam Lewis Shapiro in the light of the Akashic records. The records are now open.
My first question I would like to ask is what happened with my mother and I between the ages of 5 and 13 that would be helpful for me to heal in this lifetime?
What happened to you is connected to a previous life. The modern term for this is karma. But karma has a negative connotation, like there is a punishment to an act. That's not what this is. This is from a place of love. This dance has been danced before between the two of you, and it is an opportunity for her to handle things differently. It's a repeat performance, so to speak. For you, Adam, you are not a victim here. In fact, you are the teacher. And it is your enlightened, noble soul that has agreed to come into the life form that you live in now. Not only to expand your own enlightenment, but also to help her through her grief, her loss, and her interpretation of her own experience. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
You, so to speak, if your soul is a house with multiple floors, you have come to do some work in the basement. You don't need to work in the basement, but you have chosen to work in the basement. You have graduated from this level quite some time ago, but you come to assist because you are a teacher. I hope this gives you some relief in knowing this, and to remind yourself to actually enjoy the experience, as odd as that may sound. But it's very rare that you actually get to experience a physical form. And you are choosing a very intense experience for the enjoyment of it, for the enjoyment of feeling and navigating the emotions and the physicality of this experience. Because you also know what it will give you from your soul's perspective, the bounty that it brings. I am feeling your your higher self's emotion. This weight that you feel in your chest, that you struggle with, is because it feels foreign to you. But what this weight actually is, Adam, it is the power and the strength of your higher evolved soul within you. You are a size 12 shoe fitting into a size 8 body. It's going to feel dense. You are being held in great love and admiration and a little bit of indulgent humor as looking at a toddler child who's doing something cute. Not being aware that what you are doing is wisdom beyond your years. So you are looked at with a great amount of pride. Try and remember this when you are feeling and experiencing your darkest moments. This life is fleeting. It's going to be gone in the blink of an eye. So don't forget to feel the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it is all for your benefit. So this is for your soul. So on your tree of your soul family, forget the hierarchical positioning of your family the way it exists today. But where you are a branch on this tree, your mother is a leaf. And you are guiding her with great love and nurturing from the other side to help her through this process. This is, as you take your final exams, as you process through every grade of your education, for her, this life is one of those exams. Do not judge her on her responses and her reactions that she is demonstrating in her physical 3D life. Again, it is what you gain from the perspective of the other side that is sought out here. And as you are looked on with a great amount of love and indulgence for this toddler child that you are seen as, your higher self also holds your mother and her soul in that regard as well. Now, are you curious to know what this previous life was like? What happened?
Yes.
So again, you are playing the role of mother and son. And I am seeing a Roman. It is in Rome. In a family of some social standing. You were not the pinnacle of society, but a family of wealth and substance as viewed from a 3D perspective. Your father was an aspiring politician. He was the youngest son from a noble family, and the birth order affects your status in society. So he was trying to elevate himself, and your mother was also in the process of trying to elevate themselves in society. So the optics was very important. And there was a belief that what befell you from the gods was a reflection on how you were viewed by the gods. You were inflicted with a disease, but before that, you were the apple of your mother's eye. And once you became sick and showed outward, I'm sorry, I'm struggling for the word, outward symptoms of this illness, what happened is you drank contaminated water, and it went into your brain. Your mother took that as a sign of punishment from the gods. But because she was so, both your parents were so hyper focused on status, your illness was taken on as a punishment. So that love that she had for you got tainted, and she felt the shame of your illness, and she took it out on you. Does this resonate?
I think so.
You did not live long in this life. It eventually killed you. But while you were there, it was a very painful experience. So this life, it was her desire to try this again. So there is a resonance from this life, but there's also part of her, a bigger part of her that is trying to do it better. But it is a struggle. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Now, what your interactions, even before your accident, there is a knowing of what is to come. The DNA, the program has already been set. So the energy and the patterns are already there between the two of you. Does this make sense?
I think so. If you could maybe elaborate.
So at every instance or emotion is energy, correct? And because you are replicating the energy from that life and you're bringing it into this life, you became ill in that life around the age of 5. You were not quite 5. It was right before your 5th birthday. So that is imprinted on your relationship in this life. So there's going to be hypervigilance and resistance that is subconsciously there for your mother. And you, as a child, without the awareness, because there is forgetting in this life, are already on a trajectory of self-destruction. Because that is the program that you came into this life with, for the benefit of all. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Does this answer this particular question for you, or would you provide me with another question to go deeper?
Could you tell me what time period this was? This lifetime?
Roman 360 363 BC. You had curly hair. You had a very similar nose to what you have now. Your face was rounder. You were a very active child. You knew how to charm the adults. You were a bit theatrical, which added to your charm. You were very intuitive on how to connect with others, which made you very endearing and much loved. You had wit. You had an older sister who was jealous of your charms, but loved you dearly just the same. Ah, your sister in this life. So all the cast members have come back. The entire household was devastated by your loss. It took about 1.5 years of suffering for you to pass through that life.
So you're saying that I suffered for 1.5 years before my life ended during that
Yes,
lifetime.
yes.
And is that sister in that lifetime, is it the same
It is the
sister?
same soul. Yes. Different father. So in that life, the father was very busy with his career and was not always home. So the household, even though I see you in a summer home that was out of the city, it was out of the city center. So he also had apartments in the center of Rome that he spent a lot of time in. But the palatial house is where you grew up. And it was very beautiful. And he would host a lot of parties and gatherings. The lesson in that life for your parents was defining the true meaning of wealth. You could have all the riches, but without health or the loss of a child, that is where true wealth is. And this is what they learned in that life. You were short and compact, very springy. You were bouncing everywhere. You loved little critters and creatures and brought them in all the time. The slaves, because that's what they were, and your mother were not thrilled with this, but you always charmed your way out of it. So you were given a little space in the garden for your menagerie, your zoo. Until you were sick, it was an idyllic life for a child. So you had fun. Your higher self remembers more the fun and the uninhibitedness of childhood more than the illness. But the life and the parameters that you came into this life with and your family came into this life with had more restraint. I see more straps around the package, more fear, more uncertainty.
Is there any particular reason why there's more fear now?
Um, you cannot dismiss the ancestral trauma that your family has come into just by the nature of being a Jew. The imprint upon that genetic soul is here for great learning and soul expansion. But on the 3D plane, without the memory of the intention of the lesson, it can bring on a great deal of fear and uncertainty. And depending on the experiences of your families, there are different levels on the spectrum of the trauma. Does this make sense? But it's there. It's unavoidable. If you don't work on it, it's unavoidable. It's with your mother. She may not talk about it, but I can feel the anxiety and the pressure in her chest. Do you have any more questions?
Thank you. Do you have a question regarding souls and family members? Are you able to tell me how many souls I have been interacting with that have been part of my family, my lineage
In this lifetime or collectively?
collectively?
Your soul family is huge. It's in the thousands. If you want some more precision, give me a moment here. So it's an average cluster of souls. It's about 25,000. And the best way to describe this from a 3D perspective, considering it an acting troupe, and depending on the play, you have different cast members who play different things, and people rotate in and out. There's the supporting crew that's behind the scenes, and then there are those that are on the stage. And the people on the stage rotate, and there could be several stages. There are people in your soul family that are on this planet right now that you will never see in this lifetime. But the plays vary, and the characters vary, and the origins of the characters vary, but the souls are all the same. Does this make sense?
Yeah, so when you say the souls that are the same, meaning those 25,000 souls
Yes.
that rotate in and out of each lifetime.
Yes, and partner up in different characters, and like you may not have another play with the soul that plays your mother in this lifetime for maybe another 5,000 years. It could be in 200 years. But within this soul family, there is much love and support and encouragement from all.
Thank you. Could you tell me roughly how many times I have been incarnating into a body
On planet Earth or everywhere?
everywhere?
So, your soul in particular has incarnated on Earth about 630 times, which it seems like it is not a lot because there are souls that have incarnated on Earth thousands of times. But you are part of the crew that came later to help humanity evolve. So, what you have done, instead of doing the easy road on a life or the average road on a life, you pick lives that you are experiencing now. The reason why you do this is because the results of it's a higher level. It's like going to your junior college or going to Harvard. You're an Ivy Leaguer. You go big or you go home. So you do not pick easy lives, not that any life is easy, but you seek out challenge because of what it gives your soul, the expansion that it brings you. So your expansion, you are on a faster track of expansion than a lot of other souls. So before that, you came from the Pleiades. But while in this solar system, there was a time where Mars was habitable and you were on Mars. You were also, there was another planet where the astro belt rotates. That planet was destroyed during a time of galactic war. You also had lives on that planet. You were part of that war. And you were on the planet when it blew up. At that particular instance, in that life cycle, you were a child.
Could you tell me when that was?
You were quite the warrior. The it was around 200 million years ago when that planet exploded. You are a galaxy hopper, sir. But all of this, Adam, all of it is in the service of the divine. May I tell you something? And this may be big. It may be really big for your brain to get around. Your name is no accident, for you are Adam. Yes, the Adam. So you were a test tube baby. And you were elected for that distinction. You were selected. It was a great honor. It wasn't something that was the hand of God, so to speak. This was a massive project with a great deal of entities working on it. There were other attempts that did not succeed. You were the first to succeed. That was your entrance into planet Earth. Before that, you were from your mother's planet. Your mother was not human in that life.
What
She is
was
one
she?
of your guides now. How do you describe her? I do not have this group of people. They weren't humans. They did not have a spoken language. They were telepathic. But it was a council of many um, entities from different planets that worked on this project. Many scientists for the human term. She was, arms and legs, two of each. The body did not have curves. It was more oval, but not this way, this way. All the reproductive, everything was internal. So you didn't see any like outward breasts in a woman, so to speak, or a female. The shape of the head would be similar, but not exactly the shape of a frog. Um, the eyes were out here, not forward. If you look at human skin under a microscope, it's a little scaly, is it not? And when it's dry, you really see those shapes. That comes from that lineage. But for them, it was more pronounced. As always, it is your choice. But the name Adam is bookending your experience on planet Earth. For now, it is your intention to move on after this life. Your higher self is telling me that this is the bumpy ride on planet Earth is coming to an end. It will come to a crescendo very soon. And after that, with human evolution, things will start to calm down. But for you, this is boring. You like the bumpy rides. So you want to move on to somewhere else to help that segment of evolution in that society grow and move. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Does it resonate?
I'm not quite sure. So just to clarify, what's being said here is that after this life or in a certain period of time, I will move away from Earth.
This is your last life on Earth. It could change, but that is your higher soul's intention as of now, is that this be your last life.
And if this is the case after that, I will incarnate into another body on another planet.
Yes. Do you know what a plunk is?
I do not.
So, in the measurement of space and the, how do I describe this? So, for a great deal of time, the atom was considered the smallest particle in existence. Then they found the Planck. So, what humanity is learning now is that the deeper you look, the more you see in every direction. So, as technology improves, the smallest thing in existence will always be found. So, at this point, it is at the Planck. It is and the reason why I bring this up is because I'm seeing a metaphor here. Do you know who Nassim Haramein is?
No, I do not.
Okay, he is a self-taught quantum physicist. There is a lecture that he has, and that's because me as Holly attended that lecture, and this is the 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 parallel that I'm getting. When you came into your first life as Adam, you were very big and very expansive, and it housed a certain amount of energy, this body. As Adam Lewis Shapiro, that same amount of energy is condensed into a smaller, tighter form. So it's almost where energy gets tighter and smaller and smaller and smaller before it explodes. So for the soul that is Adam, the higher soul, there is a contraction into the same energy in a smaller, it's all compacted into a smaller sphere before it explodes into expansion. This is interesting. So what I'm seeing is through every iteration, every life you've had on Earth, you came in really big and expansive, and this massive amount of energy kept on getting put into a smaller box, a smaller box, a smaller box, a smaller box until you're ready to blow. You're almost ready to blow. And what that means in the terms of your soul, your higher soul, it feels very big. It is beyond my human ability to explain. We do not have the words for it, but it's a good thing. It is a graduation, so to speak, where you can move on into something else. But I do believe it's going to be a great amount of time before you do that. What the image I'm seeing is when you get off a boat and you turn around and you help everybody else off. This is what you will be doing for a while. Once you've graduated and gotten off the boat, you're going to be hanging around from the other side helping get other people off the boat. Does this make sense?
This is an analogy that is being described here.
Yes.
Yes, it does make sense.
Any more questions?
I do have a question that was regarding my mother that was said 280 million years ago that my mother at that time is my guide as well. Now, is that correct?
Yes, she is.
Does she have a name?
She's saying because it's all telepathic and it's an energetic imprint. Um, there's no articulate name for her that we could express or say, but you can pick one. You just have to think of her. Oh, let's see. You know what I'm hearing? Lilith. Call me Lilith.
Lilith, you said?
Lilith. Yes. L.
Lilith.
Yes. So what she is saying here is that she is the embodiment of divine femininity that we as humans have lost. And historically, by the wounded masculine, have demonized. Um, but she is that soul and she wears it proudly. She has imprinted in different folklore of humanity around the planet. And it's usually a very destructive force that has been attached to her. But it's only in destruction is something else born. Oh, that's interesting. That is really interesting. Um, there's a very strong imprint of life cycle here. About the cycle of life. I wouldn't call her Gaia, but she is truly deeply connected to Gaia. And the role she plays now for Gaia and humanity is in the movement of energy. And it's not always pretty. It can be violent, it can be ugly. And she doesn't always use um, what humanity would think as gentle tools to move us along. She can be a very stern mother, so to speak. But her vision, her goal is always on, or her purpose is always driven by the goal. Does this make sense?
I think so.
Um, so the way she's describing it is, okay, you came into this life looking to get something out of it, right? As a soul, you wanted expansion and evolution. You wanted to bump up to the next level. Well, she's going to help you get there. It may be the worst, hardest, rockiest road you've ever experienced in ever any existence, but she's going to get you there. Does that make sense? And I'm bringing this down to very specifically you, but we're talking about humanity as well. She is one of the energetic forces that is going to get us to where we want to be, even if it kills half of us. And she has a very deep maternal love for all of us. She sees us as all her children through you, but you're special because you are hers. So she's telling me, even in your darkest moments, you can draw on her strength to help support you. She acknowledges that what you're going through is very difficult. She's saying, I'm your real mother. Um, Oh, there's this idea. She's telling me the word tiger mom. Like she's ferociously guarding you to get you where you want to be. Her energy is very different. It's I can feel her love, but it's like when you connect into divine love, it's expansive and it's very it can get it goes into every cell, right? Her love is not like that. It's very there it's more solid, if that makes sense. Like I can see the shape of it, which is really weird. But it is a beam going right into you. So what she's telling me now is that you have learned, or you have what you were supposed to gain out of this life, you have gained. Ask her for help. If you want to get over this illness, say it out loud. How do I word this? She's also telling me you can leave whenever you want. You are still benefiting from your experience here on planet Earth. She would prefer that you stay longer. But if this infection is the vehicle you want to use to leave, Adam, this is really hard for me. I'm sorry. Hang on. I've never heard anything like this before. And it makes me want to cry. She's telling me I'm being silly. She's telling me I'm too locked in to the play. I'm taking it all too seriously. She'd like you to hang around at least another 10 years, though. There are surprises that await that you would deeply enjoy. And I think it's more of the your spiritual journey from the form that you hold as Adam Lewis Shapiro right now. That you will find joy and fun in it. And she's asking you, she will support your decisions, but she's asking you to stick around for that, for the fun ride. Are you okay?
Yes,
Does that resonate?
I'm not quite sure.
I'm feeling like a yellow-green ball right here. She's telling me you're taking things too seriously too. Do you want to ask any more questions? She's saying that she's going to give you signs, like she wants to connect with you, and she wants you to be able to channel her. Oh, this is an invitation to go to the next step. She really wants you to channel her. Like this is a thing. I'm sensing there's a little bit of shock here, or kind of like a resistance. She's telling me that. And she's saying, no rush, just sit with it and see how you feel. But there's a sense of purpose to it that will help. It will help you to help others.
By channeling her.
Yeah.
Can I ask, how can I channel you, Lilith? What is the first step? How do I do this? Can you please help me?
There are people that can teach you, and I can give you those names. Um, every human has this built within them, this ability. It's part of being telepathic. And because there's already a connection between the two of you, this shouldn't take long. It should be pretty quick. But first, you needed to learn of her existence and your story.
Can I ask Lilith what is the purpose of these urinary tract infections? Why do they keep on reoccurring so frequent and often?
It is the internal toxins in the body that is trying to manifest into physical form. But they're being generated by what you are creating within yourself. And you are basically emotionally, or your ego is attacking you mentally. Does this resonate? There's an internal fire in you, an anger.
Is this anger towards anyone in particular, or is it
You're
just
doing it to
myself?
your, you're doing it to yourself. I mean, it's going to come out, right? Because when the bucket's full, it spills over, but it's really directed towards yourself. And the only thing that's going to cure this, Adam, and this is coming from her, is love and acceptance. This feels very profound. I can see her energetically holding you as a mother would her son. Like there's or just, a child, like a toddler. If you pay attention, you will start to see signs that she is there. She doesn't want to tell me what it is because she wants you to see the patterns in it. We can, for now, I can be the con, you'll be able to have these conversations with her alone.
Could you repeat that one more time?
If you choose, I mean, this is an invitation. This is all free will, right? So look for signs of her presence because she's going to bring them to you. And if you choose to go down this path of channeling her and that connection, she'll reach out to you. It will get stronger. I can help you with tools. I can connect you with me being Holly. I can give you a teacher to learn how to channel. Um, but this is all free will and choice. But for your own personal healing, feel her love, take that love and give it to yourself and accept yourself. You need to know your own innocence in this story. And you need to tap into that innocence. There's no blame, there's no shame here. Does this resonate?
Yes.
Good. Are we close to noon? Oh,
Yes, we are.
I need to go. I'm sorry, Adam. I didn't realize it was this late. One last question. Are you good?
Yeah, my last question is how am I is it my job, and if it is my job, to help heal my ancestral lineage?
By healing yourself, you will heal the ancestral lineage. It is not your job to heal the world. It is your job to walk the journey, so to speak, to heal you. Healing your lineage is by, everybody has to jump into this and in their own time. And you can't force or make anyone do anything. You can only work on yourself. And that is from a position of love and non-judgment. You cannot judge anyone for where they are. Not even the Hitlers of the world. Because even the Hitlers of the world helped propel humanity to further evolution. It's what we choose to do with it. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we close?
Yes.
I would like to thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion. I would like to thank the lords of the Akashic record for their point of view. I would like to thank the Holy Spirit in the light of all knowledge and healing. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen. Holy simoles, Adam. WTF.
I know you gotta
That
go.
was crazy. Huh?
I know you have to go. I'm yeah, I'm blown away. There was a part, and I don't know if it was you're able, if you still, when you got emotional, and you weren't quite sure, and then Lilith said that you were acting silly.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, what what was um what was going
The
on there.
silliness. For me, it was, she's giving you permission to step out of life, right? And she's telling you what you're going to miss if you do. And this is like you've done all this hard work and you're going to miss the bonus package, is
Mhm.
basically what she was saying. But for me to tell you that if you want to like skip out right now, it's okay. That was really hard for me to say.
Oh, that's what was emotional for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giving permission for someone to die, like that's crazy,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously.
I'm just I'm they just this is just completely just blew my whole being. I feel so expanded, and when you're talking about Adam and that name and the expansion, it's like I just feel it. I feel it
Good.
in my being, and just opened like another huge, like massive door or something. I don't know. It opened up something like pretty big, and
Yeah.
I'm just amazed, and I'm like, man, I need to go to Holly more often because, well, it's all perfect, it's all guided, it's meant to be, but just took me really really deep, honestly, and I'm grateful. Thank you
I'm happy.
for doing
Well, I
this.
certainly wasn't expecting that little left turn for sure. Um this stuff never gets old. It's super cool. It really is. And sit with it, watch it again. But I think there's some processing that has to happen here, you know?
Yeah,
Like that was some big stuff. And yeah,
this
let's
is
reconnect.
this is not, just to clarify, this is not Lilith the angel, like Lilith and Hallel, you know. This is not.
She's saying yes, but she wasn't an angel. She was an alien.
Okay.
We as humans have gotten our stories a little muddled. And it's like telling someone like our story and how things happened and the idea of God, etc. It's like trying to explain it to a 2-year-old versus an 18-year-old. The language is completely different, right? And what we're bringing with us is the story that was told to a toddler. It is so much bigger and has so much more depth than that. But that's what we're hanging on to as humans. That is what has defined our religion. It is bigger than that.
Until we're ready to receive more.
We're getting ready. Yeah, there are people who could receive it right now, but there's a hell of a lot that would like short circuit and probably like bring out the shotguns. How dare you say it? You know,
Yeah.
it's not, yeah, we just one person at a time.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of people, one person I've worked with, and then there's this guy that's on YouTube that is offering a channeling class. I'll send you what I know
Okay.
if you're ready for it. If you're not ready for it, you're not, you know?
Yeah. I feel like this is might be the next step for me to really embodying and being that love that I've been I'm feeling that divine feminine
Yeah,
love, you know.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't move on.
Okay.
Um, but we'll talk later and
Sounds good.
text me if you have any questions.
Okay. Thanks, Holly.
Okay,
All right.
bye. Have a
Bye.
great day.
You too.